Halo, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam, selamat sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Apa kabarnya Bapak Ibu guru di luar sana? How are you teachers from all over the world? Happy World Teachers Day! Hello, everybody in the chat, in the comments. Okay, so today, actually, this event is a celebration of the World Teachers Day that happened exactly today. Okay, so Kampus Guru Cikal, a community of lifelong learners and educators, celebrating the World Teachers Day with the theme that is very closely related to the UN theme. The theme is Leading Through Crisis by Self-Regulated Learning Practice, or in bahasa Indonesia is Merdeka Belajar. Now, I would say hello to everyone that's already here. Hi, Pekalongan is here. Purwokerto is here. Bantaeng Sulsel is here. Yes, happy World Teachers Day for us. Appreciation for all awesome teachers that teaching through this crisis. It's a celebration for us today. Now, today we have a very special guest for this talk. I will introduce you now. I will call them one by one. But before that, I just want to announce something that we have a discount for today. Mr. Operator, can you put the good news for the discount? Now, there's a discount for programs for teachers in Sekolah.mu. There's a 94% discount. Why is 94? Because 1994 is the year that the first World Teacher Day celebrated. So there is 94 discount for programs. The discount will be in bit.ly/obrolan guru and bit.ly/obrolan pemimpin. But the quota is limited, so get the discount only for 2 days. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Operator. Okay, I will start to call the speaker one by one. We will start the speakers. The first speakers is from Komunitas Guru Belajar Pekalongan. Please welcome Miss Niken Emiria Faradela from SMA Negeri 1 Kajen. Miss Niken.
Hello, Miss Bima. How are you?
Hi. So please introduce yourself, Miss Niken.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Niken. I'm from Pekalongan, from SMA 1 Kajen Pekalongan. Now I teach English teacher. I teach English in my school. And actually, I'm not come from Pekalongan. I come from Bandung. But I've been living in Pekalongan since 2009.
Okay, so how is the current situation in your school, Miss Niken?
If we talk about the current situation in my school, I only can say, yeah, we survive. Students survive. But I mean we still stay in the same point as the government announced it about distance learning. So we don't move to another step in learning process. Teachers and student only do the same thing, just like at the beginning of the distance learning. So yeah,
Okay.
but we survive.
Okay, you're surviving, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Niken. Okay, I will call the next speaker from Komunitas Guru Belajar Makassar, Miss Emi Hardianti. Please welcome Miss Emi Hardianti. Miss Emi Hardianti is from SMP Lazuardi Atailah GCS Makassar.
Yes, halo. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Halo.
wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. Before I introduce myself, I just wanna say Happy World Teacher Day for all teacher in the world. Jadi hello everyone. My name is Emi Hardianti. You can call Miss Emi. I'm come from Makassar, South Sulawesi, and I teach in Lazuardi Attaila Global Compassionate School Junior High. I teach ICT and Science study.
Okay, so how is your current situation in your school, Miss Emi?
Yes, same of Miss Niken. Until this, we are survive because distance learning and talking about situation in my school, I'm starting from a problem on the global crisis pandemic COVID-19, and yes, we are survived until this. And then in my school, my teacher very slowly to learn step by step to develop models and strategy to learning in distance learning. I think.
Oh, okay. So we are surviving this situation,
Yes.
yeah,
Of
together.
course,
Yes.
together, collaboration.
Okay.
Must survive.
Okay, I will call the next speaker. Now, the next speaker will be from outside Indonesia. The next speaker is Ryan Krakowski. Okay, he's from Victoria Shanghai Academy. He's a technology and innovation coach. So please welcome Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
So please introduce
Hello.
yourself, Ryan.
Sure. So as Pima said, my name is Ryan Krakowski. I'm a technology and innovation coach in the primary at my school. My school has about 1,000 students in primary and about 7 classes per grade. So it's quite a large school. It's
Wow.
an international IB school. So we run the PYP. I've been living in Hong Kong now for over 10 years. And
Oh.
previous to this, I grew up in Canada. So Hong Kong is now home.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And how's the current situation in your school, Ryan?
So we are back to school. We started the school year off online, and then now we are. The students come in the morning time, and in the afternoon time they have some remote learning tasks, and then they get together with their teachers at the end of the day at 3 o'clock for community time. So that's our current structure, but it can change at any moment, depending on how the situation in Hong Kong is going. So.
Oh,
But right
but
now,
you're
it's working quite well.
still doing it remotely.
So half in class, half remotely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so half in the class goes to classroom in the school, and half remotely.
No, so all the students come in, but just for half the day.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then the afternoon are the remote learning activities. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to want to know more about all of the situation, but before
No
that, let me call the next speaker. The next speaker is Luke Dyer. He's from British International School, Ho Chi Minh City. He is an ICT leader and STEAM coordinator in his school. Please welcome Luke. Hi, Luke.
Hi,
Hey, Pima. Hey,
Luke.
everybody.
Please
Hey, Luke.
introduce yourself.
Hi. Kia ora,
more.
everybody. My name's Luke Dyer. I'm a primary ICT teacher, so I teach from 4-year-olds up to 12-year-olds in a British curriculum, playing with robots and coding all day. I'm from New Zealand, but I've been living in Vietnam for the last 4 years. And before then, I was living in China, teaching internationally. So I've been in Southeast Asia for quite a while now, and I love the place. It's beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful part of the world. The situation for us here at the British School is we're very lucky here in Vietnam. The Vietnamese government acted right back at the start of February. There was a lot of concern because we've got a very open border with China. So when China started to go downhill, the Vietnamese government sort of stopped things straight away. So we closed our schools and went into virtual classroom a lot earlier, about a month and a half before most other schools around the world. And then we got at the other side. So we're currently teaching as per normal. Students all at school all day long. We've even got inter-school sports starting up next week. The only sort of limitations we have would be masks in the playground, and parents can't come onto campus. So we meet them on the football field and hand them over at the end of the day. And we're just very lucky where we are right now. When I see my colleagues and friends around the world and what they're going with and hearing your stories, I feel very blessed, and I feel my heart is heavy hearing what you're all going through around the world at the moment.
Wow. Okay. So like,
Right now,
I think you're ahead of our crisis journey. Yeah.
there's still crisis there. There's looking at, I think when we came back to school this year, we came back before the Vietnamese schools. So every moment we were waiting to be shut down, thinking we'll get 1 week in, we'll get 2 weeks in, we'll get 3 weeks in, and then something would happen. And so we've got so many policies and systems in place that in case something goes wrong, we're ready to go straight back into virtual learning, because we weren't prepared the first time. We weren't ready for it. We didn't know what to do. Whereas now we have those systems in place and policies, and we're in that headspace, I think. But it's still a very scary world we're living in right now.
Yes. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now I'm going to call the last speaker, last but not least. And I think a teacher from Indonesia is familiar with her face. The next speaker was my partner in like 2000 and whatever, I think. Please welcome Miss Husnul Khotimah or Miss Unun from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Southbridge International School. Hi, Miss
Hi,
Unun.
everyone.
Hello.
How are
Krishna.
you?
Hi.
Hi. Thank
It's
you
nice
for
to
having
see you
me.
again.
Yeah, true. It's nice to see
Okay,
everyone today.
you can
Thank you very
introduce
much.
yourself to the audience. Maybe someone might not know you, but I know you. So you should introduce yourself to everybody
Yeah.
again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pima. So I'm Unun. I'm Indonesian who is now currently living in Phnom Penh. So I've been living in Phnom Penh, Cambodia for almost 1.5 years now. And then I am working and learning in Southbridge International School. So basically, I'm working in a primary campus, and I would like to learn and share together with you all today. It's a very great opportunity to join this event. Happy World Teachers
Okay.
Day.
Thank you, Miss
Yay.
Unun. Happy World Teachers Day, everyone. Okay. Now, I think we have lots of audience that's already in the chat. Now, for the audience, you can always ask question anytime in the chat. Okay. we will try to answer it later. But I think I'm going to start with the first questions for the speakers now. So the first question is, in this crisis situation, what has been your biggest challenge so far, and what is helping you overcome it? I think I want to hear from Miss Niken first, maybe. Miss Niken?
Okay, thank you, Miss Bima. My biggest challenge in this pandemic era is that how to make fun but meaningful learning process for my students. It's really hard here because I have to face the condition of the student itself. My student is come from middle to low economic condition, so they even for to buy just only a little bit data plan, it's hard for them. So uh, uh, and they live in the rural area or even mountainous area. So I have to consider about the internet condition, internet connection at their home. So yeah, it's really hard for me to make a kind of learning process that fun yet fruitful.
And how do you overcome it so far?
Um,
What is helping you to overcome it?
Actually, I learned a lot from my community, teachers community. I have a discussion with my teachers friends, and I come to this kind of event, and I got a lot of ideas from for the early beginning in distance learning. I think that I want to use a lot of technology, high tech. The more sophisticated the technology, the more I feel satisfied. But turns out that it was wrong. My student, my student didn't have fun with that technology. Even the number of the student who attend my class decreased gradually. From 35 to 30, and the last is 20. So I felt that must be something wrong with my teaching process. And then I discussed with my friends in the community, and and then I watched the webinar and attend this event like this. I learned a lot, and then I forget about something important that actually I have used it in a normal class, in my normal classroom. Use this important thing, which is self-regulated learning. I forget to humanize my relationship with my students. So yeah, talking with a friends, learning from the a lot of sources is helping me to overcome this problem, this challenge.
Okay. So that's what community is for, yeah? Community of
Yes.
teachers is for,
Yes.
yes.
Talking with friends with the same vibe and the same frequency also can make my stress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we're facing the same problem, and we're facing the exact the same, yeah.
I think that I feel burnout about this condition, and and I have to find someone or some community to share my problem, to chat, to just maybe just only chatting, but after those chatting, I kind of find some a new fresh idea to apply in my classroom. Yeah, so it's helped me a lot.
Okay, thank you, Miss Niken. How about you, Miss Emmy?
Okay. Talking about challenge, actually, my biggest challenge is myself. Control myself.
Okay.
Because I feel that I still need to learn a lot as a teacher. when someone asks me what helped me to overcome this challenge, I will be charged of networking. Teacher need community, same of Miss Mikan. Teacher need community, teacher need network. Guru membutuhkan sebuah jaringan dan bergabung dalam sebuah komunitas. Learning from experience of other people or other teachers help me to control myself. Listening to them, tell story, giving each other, and then give a feedback to other. And then I found in the learning teacher community, when thinking of ourselves who are unable to move on from comfort zone. Now, at the time, we must also be faced with the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. Of course, this is not a barrier for us to become empowered teacher because we are able to control ourselves. I think that's all.
Thank you, Miss
Simply.
Amy. How about Miss Unon? Miss Unon,
Hi.
how about you?
Yeah. The question is, what has been the biggest challenge so far? So before I answer that question, I would like to tell about the current situation in Cambodia. So the school has reopened since August, second week of August.
Oh,
So up
really?
until
So you
now,
already.
yeah, yes. So we have started learning on site, but then the parents can choose whether they want to put the student to learning online or on site. So up until today, the cases that are reported by the government is less than 10, the active cases of COVID-19. So I think the
Oh my
biggest
God.
challenge and then I think the biggest challenge that most of the teachers are facing here in Cambodia right now is how to define what a new normal is. Because it seems that most of the teachers, everyone, the parents, the students, feel like there is no more cases anymore, almost. So there is a reluctancy to wear the mask because they don't think that the case can grow anymore, and then the teacher think that by having the school reopened and then by having the trust from the parents, we can go back to normal. However, what is normal these days? How can we define normal anymore? So it's kind of difficult because there is a tension from the teachers to have everything back to normal. However, there is regulations from the government to have 12 students maximum in a class, and then wearing masks at all times, and then the air conditioner temperature should be 24 degrees. Room should be open at all times, and then body temperature check twice a day, and it should be recorded. And then the students must remain supervised. So the teachers need to be with the students all the time. So those precautions and measures are a lot. But and then at the same time, the conflict is how are we going to put that into the current situation that seems to be normal? So yes, so the mindset is trying to adjust to those kinds of measures and precautions. However, what we're facing every day is, it's pretty much look like normal. So I think that's pretty much what I'm experiencing right now. So changes happen every day, and then I think how to define the new normal is kind of difficult for everyone here now.
Yeah, so there
Of
is
course.
no back to normal, yeah. But there is
We
back
don't
to
know, and we'll never
different
know.
normal.
We don't know right now.
We're going to be back to different normal, but that new normal is we're still looking for the definition for that new normal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Exactly.
see that is
Yes.
okay. Okay, how about Luke? How about you, Luke? What has been
Yeah.
your biggest challenge so far?
I think the
And
biggest challenge so far has been mindset, like just making sure that I'm positive. There's everyone around me has got lots of different stresses going on. I've got different things which are stressing me. My students have got things like Ms. Nikan said, it's making sure we humanize the learning and the process. Sometimes not so worried about the academic outcome of a lesson, but the human outcome, the connection, the finding time to listen to students and to other colleagues. We're back to normal here, the new normal in Vietnam, but we can't leave. I've got family back in New Zealand. My daughter is turning 21 next week, but she's back in New Zealand, and when will I see her again? I don't know. So there's all these things going on, which, if we're not careful, can lead down just not put you in a good headspace. So I think that for me, the biggest challenge is making sure my mindset is in the right place, that I'm looking at the glass being half full as much as I can, even when sometimes the glass is a bit dirty.
so, what is helping you overcome it, Luke?
I think family, taking time to switch off, making sure I turn off my cell phone.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Just sometimes getting outside, going for long walks, talking to people, and try not to talk about what's going on in the world, but what's going on in the future. You know what I mean? Changing the way we have conversations so that we're keeping positive, and also taking the time to listen to people who are going through a rough time. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I'm trying to overcome it, but it's not easy.
It is. It's not easy, because I also we all have the need to talk to someone, right? Because when someone is messaging me, I want to can I call you so I can talk? Not texting. It's like talking to people is important for our well-being.
One of my colleagues had a year 3 class, and every morning she would open a Zoom chat with her students and just sit at the breakfast table, and they'd eat breakfast together, and for 30 minutes. And there was not a lesson, there was just a conversation. Some kids just sat there and saw each other's faces, but it was a breakfast club every day. And I thought that was a beautiful, a human moment of virtual teaching.
Yes. That's a good idea, actually. Okay, thank you, Luke. And Ryan, how about you? What has been your biggest challenge so far?
Okay. Well, I'll approach this from a coaching role. My job, at least when this all started, this actually goes back to when there was some difficulty in Hong Kong, even before COVID. We were off school for some time. So already I was starting to think about, how would we go completely online? Then COVID hit, we were completely online, and I realized really quickly that there is a big discrepancy between, the technological fluency of teachers, also the technological fluency of students and their parents, because when you are teaching young students, through online platforms, the parents have to be somewhat technologically savvy if they want to facilitate, right? So it was really difficult at the start because there was so many different questions coming from so many different people. It was difficult to keep up with everything. But slowly we got into a routine of, we created websites for students, teachers, and parents. And we curated and created lots of resources that we thought could help everyone. Basically, anytime we answered someone's question, we made a short video or a screenshot, and then we kept adding it to these websites. So by the time we came back to school this year, things were a lot smoother because a lot of, everyone was kind of on a more equal playing field in regards to their tech fluency. The problem then, the problem then is it's like a lot of people are really they're teched out. we were doing full days on video conferencing with students. So you know, to try to coach and to try to move teachers ahead and to continue to give new and innovative ideas, you know, it's not really a good time for that because they're tired by the end of the day, right? And I find that even now, going back to school, teachers, you know, still feel that they're still teched out, and I think it's going to take them some time to want to start to get back into, you know, exploring more innovative ideas, because there was such a steep learning curve, you know, over the past 6 months for them. They really had to learn on the fly, a lot of them. So yeah, those are the challenges I face as a coach, because I go to work every day trying to, you know, move things forward and bring more innovative ideas into our program of inquiry. So you know, I push things sometimes a little bit too hard. I need to just take a step back and realize and be, you know, have empathy for the teachers, the students, the parents, and just try to support everyone as best as I can.
Are you also the PYP coordinator in this school?
Like a technology and innovation coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, I found that a lot of the times I was in the same situation with you, and I turned a lot of the challenges, which I would normally be quite tech heavy, to be low tech. So I'd set creative, like Rube Goldberg machines, creative, build things out of cardboard boxes, times where the kids would move away from the computer for my lessons, where traditionally I was the one in the school who was always on the computer in my lessons.
Yeah. So the technology that you mean is not necessarily have to be savvy. Yeah, it can be vintage technology though.
It can be.
Yes, Miss Amy.
Yeah. No, like I don't have my own classes, so I was working with teachers the whole time into their classes. So yeah, we did try to do a lot of low tech things, or at least just a lot of low tech activities that could then be showcased online, you know, through Seesaw. You know, they could take a video and share with what they did. We ran like a robotics challenge, a series of robotics challenges, but we used the Ozobot, and the Ozobot, you can just draw the lines with a marker and it follows the marker. So you didn't need a device at all. So we did some kind of tech integration with some low tech options like that.
Yes, Miss Amy.
Yeah. Back to Miss Unun. Can I ask question?
Yes, of course.
Yes, about Miss Unun's statement, how to make parents trust about opening school. Because in Makassar, I think kita masuknya bulan Januari. Nah, how to make parents trust to opening school and bring their child to school.
So are you opening your school in January?
I think sejauh ini, I think.
Okay. Oh, you have a plan.
So there's a plan to reopen the school in January. Okay. So what happened in most of the school in Cambodia, the school should offer the parents whether they can join their children online or on site. So basically the parents can choose, and then if they don't feel like confident enough, they can put the students learning online. However, the school gives a lot of opportunity and freedom for the parents to choose, or some spaces for them to to think and then to understand what's going on. Slowly but sure, the students are coming back to school, but we're still providing slots for joining their children online. I know it's not easy in the beginning, but then the first thing that my school offers to the parents are we're trying our best to deliver the materials in the same quality as far as we could. I understand that it's not easy, and we cannot compare apple to apple between studying on site and online. However, However, reflections is always provided, and then discussions is always provided, and then also I think the school is very open with the parents. Any concerns is very beneficial for the school's development, any suggestions and everything. So basically what I want to say is there is no manual for doing everything during the pandemic because it was not taught anywhere in any university or any courses before we
There's no
have this,
training
right?
for that.
Exactly. So I think what I also learned from how the government here in Cambodia had the school reopening is that the government really open to any best practices and any proposal that each school thinks is right for every school, because I believe that every school is very different. And then when the school reopened, when there was a plan for the school to reopen, there was some stages. So I think the key for parents is to communicate all of the plans that we're experiencing. Being vulnerable, having an open communication with parents is very important. And then I think communicating the progress is also important. So we are in this stage, we are trying to do this and that, and then there are also consequences of this and that. I think having everything on the table is really helpful for us to build trust between schools and parents.
Yes.
I hope that helps.
Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome.
Okay. This brings us to the next question from me, though. The next question is, leaders today face two great questions. The first one is how to survive, and the second one is how to capitalize on new opportunities. Now, my question is, how does that statement relate to teachers and to education? What do you think? I think anyone can start, who wants to answer
From me?
first. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Amy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Question how to survive and how to capitalize on new opportunity. In my opinion, to survive and take advantage of opportunity when connected with teacher who are in school environment, which is currently in a pedagogical crisis. Teachers who are adaptive to change, receive feedback, and are committed to learning. Teachers, and are the ones who will be able to survive when teachers are able to be through the process. Of course, they can easily take advantage of opportunity. For example, technology is now increasingly developing. As a teacher, of course, we have to be technology literate because technology has become a major need in teaching and learning process in learning distance. Kemudian in this COVID-19 pandemic, for some condition, teachers who have students with technological limitation, they take advantage of visiting teacher learning models, which are currently mostly done by fellow teachers in learning teachers community. Now, the important things that teacher have to need is the willingness to learn. I think that's all.
Okay. So the mindset of learning, the growth mindset of the teachers. Thank you, Miss Amy. Anyone wanna? Yes, Luke.
Yeah, I think I like what Emmy was saying. Miss Emmy was saying about the willingness to learn, because I think we have to.
Yes.
If I think my colleagues who I'm friends with online, like Brian and Pima here, have always been those innovators who look for the new technologies out there. The ones who are my friends on Twitter or other social media are those early adapters. And I think this crisis is forcing other people to catch up, whether they like it or not.
Forcing, that's the key word.
yeah, it's forcing us to make these make these games, and I've seen some colleagues who weren't big users of technology beforehand make amazing progress and really using technology in meaningful and full ways in their classroom to the benefit of their students. Now that we here in Vietnam are out of that, I want to make sure that that progress made, that purposeful use of technology is sustained and continued and built upon. It's like, I don't want to be 2 steps forward and 5 steps back to what it was previously. So that's one thing, that technology is there, capitalize on it, use it for a real reason. But then also I think with the progress we're making, there's also that fear that I see from some of my colleagues in countries where the burnout is huge, that there's people who are really struggling to cope. They're being parents, they're being teachers, they're being colleagues, they're being shoulders to cry on for their colleagues, and I think we need to make sure that mental health is really cared for in this time, or we'll see people leaving the profession. Good teachers who just don't want to be a teacher anymore because they don't want to take on that bigger role.
Yes, our mental health is very important right now in this crisis. Yeah. How about, yes, Ryan?
Yeah, I totally agree with what Luke was saying. I feel the same thing. There's lots of burnout, and it's really an important time for teachers to really learn about, how to take care of themselves, learn about how they can better their own habits, whether that's sleep, eating, exercise, mindfulness, and so on. These things are also important. One opportunity I found this has really opened up is that because a parent or a guardian is at home with the child, with the student, they're understanding how that student learns a lot more now, rather than when that student is at school. So they're more capable of helping them with their learning at home, which is something really positive. Also, this has been really a wonderful time for students to access learning around the home and learning more about how their home works and how their community functions, and bring in this understanding and these findings and these inquiries into their learning. Because when we're at school and we're trying to solve problems and so on, we're always talking, not always, but we talk a lot about the school context. But now the students are getting the home context, and they're finding ways to improve things around the home through some of these learning opportunities that teachers have been doing. So I think that's been a really good opportunity as well.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
There's something that I would like.
Okay.
Miss.
So there's something that I would like to share regarding this matter. So there was a discussion between my colleagues and I. We discussed about the time frame of being in this dark era. The question is always when, up until when we're having this, right? And then in the beginning we were always in the surviving mode. As long as the class can run, as long as the students is learning, as long as the parents are happy, as long as the school can run, we're okay. But then after that, the next question follows, like, how can we do better, right? So I think what can keeps our sanity alive, in my colleagues' opinion, is having a sense of purpose. Like, why are we doing this? What are we doing? Or else we're gonna get drowned into the difficulty and everything, and we're gonna end up complaining about this and that, which is very hard. Which is we should acknowledge that this situation is not easy for everyone. And I think in terms of surviving and capitalizing or seizing every opportunities, I think it's a very good idea for us to go back, step back, and think and reflect on how on what do we want to achieve, on what is the purpose of of us being an educator. I think that's something that can keeps our sanity alive.
Yes. Sanity is the key word. Miss Ikan?
Right now, my students feel overwhelmed with this condition. At my school, the teachers still give them a lot of assignment. They only give the material that have to be learned by themselves. They read independently at home, and then they do an assignment. It's really stressful. Make them stressed. Actually, so did the teachers. But to survive from this condition, the teachers should be open-minded to a new opportunity that right now I think that it come from the government. Our government is already given us a new opportunity to to my student. It's really important because the help from the government can make them learning better. For example, giving the additional quota, additional data plan, and giving the new kind of learning process. And at my school, our headmaster has given us a chance to make a collaboration between teachers. So the student only get one project for example from 5 teachers. So it really make them relax. And the projects is a kind of that really fun. For example, only come to the market and make a report, come to the small seller and report it what kind of food that they sell, and then they report it and from the small and simple project. You can imagine that we make five lesson become one project, and that's, for me, that's amazing. That's how we survive right now.
So before you have a project for each subject,
Yes.
but
Every
now
teachers give the student a lot of assignment, and different. Every teacher give different kind of homework, and that's a really overwhelming.
so now the teachers collaborating and they give one big project for several subjects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's how
Like
we survive.
integrated learning. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's pretty much relief for the teacher and the student.
Yeah.
Miss Niken is, oh yeah, you're in high school, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough
Yes.
Tough
Really tough. Not an easy
collaboration.
thing. Yes.
Because in primary, we used to integrate all the time. We used to integrate
Yeah.
the subjects all the time. Yeah,
At high school, we have to choose which one that match with our lesson, so we can make the same project. For example, English with physics or with sport. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So a collaborative project, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Even for the high schoolers.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think, okay. So that leads to the next question, though. I think some of you already mentioned that about teachers are now also innovators, right? Teachers are now also innovators. So not only Google innovators are the innovators, but all teachers
Congrats, Miss
are
Pima.
now, are now innovators. Now, what do you think of that? What do you think of that statement?
I think that's I think it's what is it? Yeah, that statement is true, totally true. But but not only teacher, uh, uh, self-regulated learning teacher that can make an innovation. Why?
Oh,
Because
okay.
in
Yes.
self-regulated learning teacher, there is a reflection in it at the end of the action. When we do a reflection, we like saw a mirror. It can be
Mhm.
informed. It can give us an information about what have to change, what have to keep, and then maybe we should make a new replacement or so on and so on and so forth from our action. So
Mhm.
after the reflection, we should do some another action that make our previous action better. So I think not only teacher as a teacher is an innovator, but but self-regulated learning teacher is an innovator.
Okay, so I think you're giving one criteria for teacher innovators, Miss Vikan. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Because not all teachers can be an innovator. Not all
Yes.
teachers.
But the one who is self-regulated
Regulated learning
definitely
teacher.
can be
Yes.
an innovator. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Luke or Ryan? What do you think?
Um, I think teachers have always been innovators. I think we have a saying in New Zealand: a teacher is jack of all trades and master of none. It means you have to know everything, but you're not an
What was it?
expert
What was
in
it? Teachers
anything.
are
You just
what?
have to learn everything.
Teachers must be
A jack of all trades, but master of
master
none.
of none.
You just have to know everything. You know what I mean? But for an example, like this is my spare bedroom, and I'm sitting here. That's holding. There's a couch cushion holding up my laptop, and I taught so many lessons just like this while my wife was teaching in the lounge, and my daughter was doing year 13 study and at the kitchen table, and we just had to innovate. You had to make things work. You needed a video. I got my phone, and you would record a video and put it together, and then share it out through everything. So we use the tools we have, whether that's people, place, or environment, to innovate and get things happening. So I think teachers have always been innovators. We just have to do it a little bit more right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Luke, because the students' condition and situation, even before pandemic, is never the same, right? 8 a.m. in the morning, they're happy. 10 a.m. suddenly they're sad. Moody, and they don't want to, join the class
Moody.
or something like that. Yeah. So basically, we are innovating every single time. We need to adapt every single time, even before pandemic, right? So I think what's important for us is to understand and to understand what
Unun is
we've done. Sorry,
Yes. Okay.
sorry, Pima. Okay.
Continue, Miss Unun.
Yeah. So basically, yes. So basically, talking about teachers as innovators is mainly about realizing what we do every day and what kind of changing do we face every day, because it happened way before pandemic. So we understand about that. So I really believe that what is happening during and maybe after the pandemic, we can all face everything.
Anyone want to add? Yes, Ryan.
Okay. I definitely agree. Teachers have had to innovate in many different ways, depending on their own personal situation, depending on where they're at in their own technological journey, or how their Wi-Fi is at home, or the space they live in. And that's been huge throughout this process. Is really thinking very divergently. But going forward, the things that we learn that work, hopefully, teachers will continue to move forward with, because, it can be very easy to say, oh, that was a really horrible time. We had to, teach online, and we had to use this and that. I'm going to go back completely to my old ways. I think it's about taking what we learned now, moving forward, taking the best of what we learned, and driving that learning forward and continue to innovate. And especially, engaging the home environment in learning, like I said before, that's very important. Making use of other students and other teachers as mentors and support. That's very important. So yes, definitely innovators, and let's continue to innovate and continue to learn from what we learned during this time. Yeah.
Miss Amy,
Thank you.
want to add something?
Yes. For the statement teacher as innovator, that I agree, because teacher as innovator in learning this activity to make student more open to new things and develop in the learning process. The teacher as innovator who always has fresh idea for progress learn his student. He always never runs out of idea to find new strategy, new model, new method for the especially in pandemic COVID-19. And especially now the demands of teachers in the middle of pandemic are increasingly challenged. Teacher challenge our teacher who want to make a change in the world education. Teacher as an agent of change. I think that's all.
Yes. I agree with that. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Now, I think we can try to answer questions from the audience. We have a question from Mr. Operator. Can you post the question on the screen, please? What's the question? Oh, here it is. It's from Umi Hasanah. Are there different challenges in leading before and after the pandemic? I still feel that there are still many things that I haven't done for students at that time. I have a question for this though. Is it already after the pandemic? I think the pandemic is still going on. I don't know what you guys.
The pandemic is still going.
Okay. Anyone want to answer this question? Yes, Ryan.
Yes.
I don't think this is something that's necessarily different before and after the pandemic, but I think this time has really made us realize that we need to show empathy towards our students, have empathy towards our colleagues, have empathy towards our parents. Lots of things are going to be different after this pandemic. Some of our students' parents are going to have lost their jobs. Students may be, living in different places and coming in from different schools. Our colleagues are going to have situations that change. So it's just really about listening to people, understanding their needs, and really meeting them where they're at after this is all over, and really showing empathy towards them.
So empathy is becoming more important in this
That was a high five.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what Ryan said. One more time. Yes, I think with the end of it, and that was talked on a little bit earlier on, is we have the parents who've gone through trouble, but also the parents are scared. They're so scared to send their children back to school. We, as a school, we made a call saying, school's back. We're putting everything in place to distance within the classroom and in the cafeteria, but school is back. So if you want to be part of the school, you're back. There's no distance option, because we had to almost make a call for the parents, which is quite harsh, but we had to sort of let them work through that fear and support them and make them feel at ease. But they were so scared of coming back because of what could happen with their precious children. Like, I don't know, my two daughters, my most precious thing in the world. You don't want to put them in harm in any way you can. So it's just making sure that we keep parents at ease post-COVID, when things start to normalize into the new norm, and things calm down, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. In Cambodia, since Yeah.
Yes,
So
Miss Iman.
yeah, what I'm experiencing right now, the most obvious challenge is how to nurture and how to do collaboration within the students and within the teachers, because of the social distancing and also because of the online learning. So basically, the students need to stay in their place even during lunchtime and break time. I can take them outside after lunchtime, but then I need to make sure that they are all in distance, and
Mm,
and they cannot. Well, students, especially I teach in primary school in primary campus, so they are very excited to see their friends, and then they really want to share what they have, even can I borrow your markers, this and that, but then
mm,
it's not allowed
mhm.
for the sake of social distancing and everything. So the challenge is for me definitely collaboration, but then I think having by using all of the resources that we have, by having a lot of discussions, I think it gets better through time.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Miss Niken or Miss
For
Amy
me,
wanna add?
I really agree with what Ryan said, that there is no a big difference between challenge between before and during this pandemic. I think when before the pandemic, we still do have to, what is it, what you call it,
Empathy.
self-regulated,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, okay.
empathy, self-regulated
Mhm,
learning, humanizing the relationship.
mhm,
It can be yeah, empathy, to show your compassion to your students,
mhm,
to make a good learning plan and fun and so on and so forth. And in this, during this pandemic, we also do a kind of like that, empathy, humanizing the relationship, and then we have to also make our learning process become meaningful. But maybe the stress is different.
mm. Okay. Miss Amy, you wanna add?
Yes, just a
Or
little step about different before, yeah, before after the pandemic.
After the pandemic.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
bukan. Yeah,
Before and
Yeah.
now maybe.
before and
Yeah.
yeah,
Before and
before
now.
and now. Before
Uh-huh.
and now,
After the pandemic.
I think not big have different. Just say before pandemic, we work start from 7.30 until 14.30, and now in pandemic situation, oh my god, requires a lot of energy, of course.
Also, before the
Yes.
pandemic, we worked from 7:30
Mhm.
until
Yes.
14:30.
Yes.
But now,
Now, oh, online 24 times. Of
okay.
course, this is a big difference. And on the next is about empathy, understanding for parents and students, how to feel situation and condition from a student or parents. I think we need it for understanding.
Mhm. So empathy is really important.
Yes, of
We have
course.
to understand the situation
Mhm.
from the parents and
Yes.
also from the students. Yes,
Mhm.
we call it in bahasa maybe we call it memanusiakan hubungan ya,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Yes.
Saya cari dari tadi apa sih merasakan
Oh,
hubungan?
ada. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Next question is from. Do we have the next question, Mr. Operator? I think there's a question from Nurul Amiza. Can you bring that up? Oh, this one. Oh, this is from. Who is it from?
Yes.
Is it from Kampus Guru Cikal. Okay, maybe I can read the question from here. This is from Nurul Aniza. Hi everyone, my question is, how do you adjust the duration of online learning or any learning for each subject, considering student screen time, and how many live teaching subjects do students have each day? Now, that related to Miss Emmy's problem, yeah? Before you're working 7:30 until 14:30, before your schedule is like back to back. But now the question is, how do you adjust the duration of online learning for each subject, considering student screen time? That's a good idea. That's a good point. And how many live teaching subjects do students have each day? Okay, I think Luke want to answer that.
I heard someone say the other day that when you're giving instructions to a student face to face, it should be their age plus 4. So if they're 10 years old, they can sit and listen for 14 minutes. But if you're doing it online, you should take their age and take away 2 or 3. So if you've got 10-year-olds, a 7-minute Zoom chat is what they can manage to understand and engage with. So if you've got 5 or 6-year-olds, you've got like 30 seconds. That's it.
Okay, so the attention span is that long, yeah. Okay, how about the others? Do you have any other opinion? Yes, Miss Emmy.
Yeah, in my school to screen time, we have 30 minutes along waktu terpanjang 30 minutes, and we have session after lunch, coaching session for how to say penguatan.
For several students, not for all.
Yes.
Like enrichment class.
Yes.
For them.
Yes. And moment reflection.
So the longest time for screen time in your class is 30 minutes.
Yes.
How about you, Miss Niken or Ryan? Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, so similar to what Luke was saying, the start of a lesson, students would, be with their teacher for a few minutes, and then they would go off and work on their own. The teacher would still be there, so the teacher's screen time is very heavy, but the students would not necessarily be on the screen. They would be on the side, and they could continue to check back in with the teacher to get help and feedback as they need it. So screen time, they're on their computer the whole day, but they're not on the screen the whole day. They're maybe on for 5 minutes to 10 minutes at the start of each lesson, sometimes even less. So that's how the student screen time was managed. I think the most difficult thing was the teacher's screen time, because teachers were on all day. Even like year one, they had half days each, with half days with half their class, but then the other half of class would be in the afternoon, so they're on for 6 or 7 hours straight. And as I'm sure you all know, like when you're on for 6 or 7 hours straight on a computer screen, it takes a toll. It takes a really tough toll on your eyes and how your thoughts and how you're thinking. It affects your sleep. It's really not good. So managing students was okay, but I think it's about how do we manage teacher screen time if we do go back online again? How can we make sure that teachers' well-being is supported that way?
So if we can minimize the screen time, it's better. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's also depend on the type of outcomes that we're expecting to achieve during that day. So I think the teachers knows best of the student situation at the day, and then also the lessons that he or she is delivering. And I think the ability to see how the students are and how we are, and then how our lessons are, is also important. So I think of course, I totally agree with a screen time for teachers and the students, and it should be age appropriate. However, I think the teachers also need to have, some kind of adjustment to see how things go during the lessons.
Yes, Luke.
I agree with almost everything apart from the teacher knows best. I watched my daughter go through 3 months of online learning where she had classes from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3:30 every day, where she couldn't see friends, she couldn't leave the house, and sometimes the teacher should have read the situation better, and they didn't. So I think sometimes there was a lack of humanity in some of the choices made by some teachers.
Okay, so what you meant is
but the teachers
should
here
have
know best,
known.
though.
The teacher
Yeah,
can know that. Agree with you, look. Agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have another questions from the audience. Okay, from Lisa Megasari. Many people do think that it is a dark era. It's really interesting listen to all the speakers' opinion about the school condition in pandemic era. Really eager to know how the implementation of self-regulated learning in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Hong Kong. Oh, jadi gini, yang Pekalongan, Makassar, nggak ditanya nih. Okay, it's okay. Maybe they want to know from the international perspective.
Yes.
Okay, so how the implementation of self-regulated learning in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Hong Kong, Miss Unon, Luke, and Ryan. Yes, Ryan.
Me. So I work in the PYP IB school. So, a lot of the learning is done through the units of inquiry. And if we know about inquiry, everyone inquires differently. People, may take a topic and they may go down a different road than the others. So when we set up learning engagements, we need to build in this independence so that students are regulating through their own learning journey. We also have the Year 5 exhibition where students basically create their own unit of inquiry and regulate themselves throughout the entire 6-week journey with the help of some mentorship. And also there's something called I-Time or passion projects, which a lot of the grades do, where the students are, doing their own self-inquiry and they're just doing small check-ins with the teacher, but the teacher has set up, some organizational structures in place for students to, make sure they're staying on task, they're being accountable, every week for accomplishing a goal or getting towards their end goal. So yeah, those are some of the ways, at least in my school, that I see self-regulated learning.
When is your PYP exhibition, Ryan? This year? I
believe it's at the end of the year this year, but usually it's around May. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Luke.
I think what Ryan touched on, which resonates with us, is those putting those systems in place to help support the students, the scaffolds, which they know when to check in, they know how to ask a question, where to go to if they've got an inquiry. Those systems to put in place the whole way through. We used a lot of Seesaw and Google Classroom to support and allow students to share their work with teachers, so we could reflect and comment and give them feedback instantly. But I think the key was putting those systems in place, so the students, no matter what way they were going within their learning, they knew where to touch base. They knew how to set out their work in a way which would let them know where to go to next. Yeah, systems. That was the key.
I agree with that. Yes, Miss Unon.
Yes, I think one of the difficulty during this pandemic to do a lot of things is quite limited.
Mhm.
So using what we have, using what we're experiencing each day, um, to nurture the self-regulated learning is very important. So in the beginning, we had the almost 1 to 2 weeks induction about social distancing and taking precautions on everything.
Mm.
So what we did was having a lot of discussions, digging into the why we need to wear masks, why we need to social distance, why do we cannot share our belongings, why we need to stay in the classroom. So we discuss about those kind of things to make the students, own this process together. So it's not just because of the teacher said so or the principal said so, but we are doing this for a cause. We're doing this for a reason. So I think that's a start to build the self-regulated learning within the students. And then after that, during that orientation, we also asked the students on how can we make the situation better, what we can do to have fun while learning, while we're having a lot of limitations in our day-to-day basis. And then after that, I think what's really fun and what's really meaningful is to reflect every single day. How have we done so far in terms of our learning? Um, um, what works and what doesn't work. So, for example, there's a reflection. It is very what doesn't work is the way we take our temperature every day because we're working, we're doing something, we're having a discussion, and suddenly it's time for taking the temperature and this and that. So basically, it's a good opportunity for us to discuss together on how we do things best according to our situation. And another thing is connecting all of the things that we learn to the objectives of the subjects or the units that we're doing. So, for example, in math, we're discussing about data handling right now. So we're using the temperature check record that we have for each students every single day to as a raw data, and then we use it together. So I believe that using what we have, even though it is something that we never think of before, is can be a really meaningful learning journey for the students to develop their self-regulation.
Mm. So in this crisis, I mean, there's a lot of learning that can happen in this crisis, right? And
Exactly.
inquiry is uh, a very big part of this crisis learning journey, though. And asking those questions, the one that Miss Unun said, the why we're doing this, and why we have to um, put masks on, why do we have to wash our hand repeatedly, stuff like that. That's when the learning happen. Yes, I agree with that. That's when the self-regulated learning happen through our inquiry of this situation. Okay. I think we have another question from the audience. It's from Maya Sugandi. Is there some tips to face our students that getting stressed out with our lessons? Okay. Yes, our students are most of the secondary students are now demotivated though. They reluctant to go to the virtual classroom. Now, is there some tips for this from the speakers? Yes, Ryan.
I just think, like, as a teacher, if we're empathetic of student situation, we have to be flexible. If we see a student needs a break, let the student have a break. Let the student have a lot of choice in how they want to express themselves. Maybe if you're having the student express themselves, the same way every single time, you need to write this down. You need to keep writing and writing and writing. Then students might start getting stressed out if writing is not a strong point of theirs. Let them speak and record a video, or let them record a song, or whatever it may be. I just give them that, give them that agency, give them that choice of how they express themselves, and then if they need a break, give them a break.
Give lots of flexibility and give more option, more choices. Yes, I agree. That's a good idea.
Ryan, was it your friend who was doing the kids yoga? Were you sharing that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was quite powerful.
Yeah, yoga and thinking and like mindfulness practices for kids.
Mindfulness exercise. Yeah. From Miss Unun, Miss Emmy, or Miss Niken, do you have tips?
I sometimes use game in my class, even though we don't use a video because of the limited of the internet access. But I still insert game in my class. For example,
How
the
do you
last game
do
that
that?
the last game that I play with them is Scavenger Hunt. Scavenger Hunt. So I ask them to I give them a clue, and they try to find what is behind the clue, what kind of thing that I asked them to find in their house. So, of course, I have to give a clue that the answer is the same. The thing is at all the student house. So after they find the thing, they have to take a picture to take a selfie, and then they drop it in a WhatsApp group. Yeah, and sometimes and I also let the student to choose how they want to do the assignment. For example, the student who like writing, they will write. The student who like sport, they will relate it, the assignment with the sport. Yeah, so I let them to choose based on their interest. Maybe it can make a little bit fun and
So you use games
fresh.
to make the learning more
Still use
fun,
game.
and you give options and choices for students what they want to do as their project.
I think other than being adaptive and also being flexible, I think we as a teachers also need to give some space for personalization. I would totally agree with what Ryan said. So at this time, everyone experiencing different kind of things, different feelings. How students and teachers and parents responding to this pandemic is different. So we cannot, take it the same and treat the students the same. So if what I did and what with my colleagues facing the stress during our lesson is having it a little bit personalized. Some teachers, some colleagues might think it's too much, but I think having a one-to-one meeting through any kind of application that we have, if we can call, yes, we can. If you want to have like one-on-one meeting to ask, like, what do you feel so far? What is the hurdles that you're having? What is the difficulty? And we're trying to show empathy, like what Ryan and Luke said before. Is really important. And then I think in this situation we can expect all the students to to do the same kind of things, to respond similar one to another. So I think having a discussion is really important, and then maybe setting a different goals, using different kind of ways to do things, and then set an agreement on how to do things that makes it easier for the students in personal can work.
Okay. I think we have time for one more questions from the audience. Mr. Operator, can you post the questions? Okay, here it is. Oh, it's from Miss Atika. Hi, Miss Atika. Hi, everyone. Love to hear your teaching experience in this pandemic condition from different countries. Based on your perspective, what are the most important soft skills or attitude that a teacher needs? Okay. Important soft skills or attitude that a teacher needs right now. Yes, Luke.
Positivity, innovative approach, and a willingness to try anything to get the job done. That's it.
I think it wraps up everything.
Okay. So we really need that skill, yeah? Positivity. Yes, definitely. Okay. Yeah, I think we still have time for one more question, Mr. Operator. There's one more question from the audience. Can you post it on the screen? This one. Oh, Mr. Mirwan. Hi, Mr. Mirwan. My further question is, did your school do some curriculum adjustment? Okay, I mean your school select the essential LOs that would be taught to your students. Okay, anyone can answer?
Yeah, I replied to this in the Google chat just before. Yeah, so did we change the curriculum? No, the original question was, did the government have any input into us reopening and any changes sort of with every step which we've made? And I think as a school, international school operating within Vietnam, we have done everything based on the government's requests. So if the government have said this year group is coming back to school, we've said okay, and we've respected, even if it didn't quite suit our school the best, we still followed what they've said the whole way through. With regards to teaching curriculum, no, there was no changes to our curriculum. There was no changes to learning objectives. Oh no, actually no, there was. Every day we had to teach hand washing. So there was a video every child had to watch every day on hygiene. We had to change policy. So for example, we've changed our break times. Instead of having the one area where all the students play, we've separated into 6 separate areas and children get shorter break times, different spaces around the school. So we have, based on governmental policies, changed the distancing, but also they've said a classroom is almost like a family unit. So then within that classroom, we can take masks off. If anything went wrong, it's easy to track and trace within that family unit. But outside the classroom, masks are always on. So yeah, the government's made really good calls so far, and we're just following through with what they've said to us. But it hasn't changed our physical curriculum as such. Yeah.
I think I want to know. So there's no change in the curriculum in your country, Luke?
No.
I want to know from Miss Niken and Miss Emmy though, because in Indonesia we have the government already published the emergency curriculum.
Yeah, emergency curriculum. Yeah.
Are you making changes for your curriculum, Miss Niken and Emmy, in your school?
Yeah,
of course.
Okay.
But it depends on the teacher. If the teacher want to use it, it's okay. But if they don't want to use it, yeah, it's okay. So it depends on the teacher.
How about Ryan in Hong Kong? Because the PYP they have the enhanced PYP now. I think PYP already has changed even before the pandemic. They make a lot of renewal. How about, what do you think?
Yeah, well, we've just some changes that we've made is definitely some of our units have been extended and some of our units cut short. Just because we do run generally six units of inquiry throughout an entire year. So some of the units were changed because we knew that we were starting online. Some units we thought were more easier to run online than some of the hands-on ones. So we moved some of the units up to the start of the year. So that's one thing we did. Yeah, it's changed a lot of the, not necessarily curriculum, just a lot of the school events, right? Like I'm also the house coordinator at my school. So, you know, we have house elections. It's a real big, exciting moment where students go up and they give the speech in front of everyone. And then we have a live voting system. But we couldn't do that. So we had to run it through Flipgrid and the voting through Google Forms. So we moved that online.
By house, do you mean like Gryffindor, Slytherin, something like that, right?
Like sorry? Different houses. So students had like different teams, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So each there's 4 teams for the whole school, and yeah, we do lots of events throughout the year. Yeah, and also like some of the events that are in person, the sporting events, or the we have like some STEM or STEAM, you know, collaborative team building events. We've had to rethink those and just think of ways that we can do that online. Once again, making use of the home environment, you know, recording themselves, you know, building something, creating something at home, or doing some activities at home, and collecting the data online. So yeah, just you know, having to pivot this year, as we say in the Google Innovator. The whole year's been a pivot, so we'll continue to do so.
Yes. Okay, Miss Unun or Miss Nikan, you want to add?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. For this question, I can only speak for my school because for the public school, they have their own, you know, policy about that. But I think luckily in my school, we have the flexibility to prioritize which unit is that is more important to do. But then
Is it a
adjustment here.
private school, Miss Unun?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So I think the most important thing that we've done so far is how to answer the question on how to integrate what we're experiencing during the pandemic into our teaching and learning. So that's mainly how we adjust what we have into what we're doing, so that everything that we're learning about is you know, contextual and more meaningful to students right now. So I think that's the adjustment that I have and that I experience the most right now.
So adjustment. So we have to have more adjustment in our teaching and learning. Maybe I don't say it as curriculum, but teaching and learning. So more flexible and having more adaptive mindset in the teaching and learning. That's what we do now. Okay. Thank you very much for the audience who's already giving us very, very good questions to answer. Now, I think the last part of this event, I'm going to have to ask the last questions to all the speakers and also to the audience. For the audience, you can also answer this question from me. And the question that I will ask is also for us to reflect. So, Mr. Operator, can you post the question on the screen, please? So the question is, it's the year 2025. You have a chance to leave a message to yourself to be read in 2020. What the message will be. So it's like you're sending an email to yourself now. You will read it in 2025. Or it's the year 2025 and you want to leave a message for yourself. Now, what the message will be? Okay, audience, you can post your answer in the chat, or you can post your answer in the social media, and don't forget to mention Kampus Guru Cikal, and the hashtag will be given later. But now I want to hear the answers from the speaker first. Okay, who wants to share? Who wants to be the first to share? Okay, Miss Amy.
Yes, thank you, Miss Bima. This is interest question. About sending message from 2025. When there is opportunity and time to learn, don't miss it. When there is moment where you can gather with students and share story, do it. Time will run quickly. Make your students aware of their talents and interests, because teachers are not building a future for the younger generation, but building the younger generation for the future. I think that's all.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Niken or Miss Unun or Luke? Who wants to share? Who wants to answer next? Okay, Luke.
When I first read this question, I had to keep my right mindset, because I don't know where 5 years will be from now. So it will pass. Difficult times are not always difficult. It does get better. Make sure you enjoy every moment the best you can. I think the best thing which happened to me is making connections with people. So make sure that you keep on talking to people, spend time with people, and it'll get better. It has to. Learn from this and make the positive steps forward.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Ryan.
I approach this question by thinking, it's 2020, and I want to send a message to myself in 2015. And something I would say to myself is, those times that you were really stressed out and struggling, you should have taken a break. You should have, taken a day for yourself, or you should have, put your phone down or not looked at that email. Your mental health is so important. And if you're going through a stressful time, you want to try to ease it. You don't want it to build up and up and up and up, because I definitely have let that happen to me over the years. So I think if in 2025 I would say the same thing to myself now, is just take a break when you need it, and work is not everything. You have your life outside of work as well. Your family, your friends, and this beautiful world to explore. And just remember to keep that in mind.
I think that can be a message to me too. Thank you, Ryan. Miss Unun or Miss Niken?
Me. Maybe I would like to say to myself in 2020, always be in your student's side. Give them the best experience in learning. Be a good teacher, so that in 2025 your student will have a competent skill to face the world. And then make a lot of relationship. Always show your empathy, and always dig your protein careers to make you always also survive in 2025. And I think I would like to ask myself to keep writing the best practice, therefore we have a footprint in 2025. And then PS, please go on diet. So I will have,
So there's a
so I
PS.
will be slim in 2025.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. Okay, thank you, Miss Unun.
Very interesting. Okay, in the year of 2025, I would like to tell my present self. There are three things. Number one, your plans, Unun, can go up in smoke. So relax. so yeah, because in these days of uncertainty, so we cannot really plan things ahead. Changes happen every single day. So relax towards your plan.
Relax.
Now, second thing is you determine the winning. So celebrate small achievement, celebrate what you have every single day, and then set small goals instead of big goals to make yourself happy. And then the third thing is we cannot win everything alone, only together. This is a very tough time for everyone, but if everyone becomes one, then we can fight this together.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you very much. I want to see also some answer from the audience, please. So the
Sure.
audience, it's the year 2025, and you have a chance to leave a message to yourself to be read in 2020. What the message will be? Oh, there's a message from Miss Nandita. Time to grow, time to learn, and also time to know the most important thing for yourself and be strong. Yes, please. More answer is coming. Okay. I think. Oh, the time is already past 10 minutes for this event. I think I'm going to end this session by saying thank you very much for the speakers, for Miss Niken, Miss Amy, Miss Unun, Luke, and Ryan. Thank you very much for coming to this event. And also thank you very much for all the teachers who watched this event. For me, myself, I learned so much from our discussion. I really learned so much. I think all others also learn a lot from you guys and from each other. I think by having those questions, I learned a lot too from those questions, because some of the question maybe I didn't think of that question yet, and the audience think about it. So I learned more than I expected in this event. So thank you very much. And I want to announce more about the discount in the Sekolah.mu program, the bit.ly that's the on the screen, bit.ly obrolan guru, bit.ly/obrolan pemimpin. I think it's a program for teachers and leaders. I think from outside Indonesia, you can also join the program. So the discount is only happen today. It's a program for teachers training online. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. See you again later. Anytime. See you soon in any channel, in any media, in any place. So before we close, maybe from the speaker, you would like to say something, some tips or some I don't know, words, or for the teachers out there to make them like more enthusiastic in surviving this crisis. Okay, maybe in 3 words. I don't know. or more than 3 words is okay. Like tips or wise words or anything. Maybe can start from Miss Niken.
Teacher is a key. It is true, but not just a teacher. Self-regulated learning teacher is a key because self-regulated learning teacher will be committed to the aim, focus on students, will be independent, and will always be do a reflection. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. More from Miss Amy.
Just one sentence: teaching is not profession, but teaching is a passion.
Oh, okay. From Ryan.
I would just say step outside your comfort zone. If there's something you've been scared to try, just go for it. If you haven't joined social media, Twitter, Facebook groups, whatever, go do it. Now is the time. Learn from others. Just step outside your comfort zone and try something new. Be open-minded.
Okay. From Luke.
Take every challenge, like Ryan says. Learn to look after yourself. Learn to say no sometimes. Sometimes we should say no, and just be nice to people. Always be nice to people.
Be nice to people.
Do nice to people.
Miss Unun. Last word from Miss Unun.
To all the teachers out there in this World Teachers Day, after having a lot of fruitful discussions and learning in these sessions, I just want to say, don't be afraid.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe from me, for teachers, keep doing what you're doing now. You're doing good, guys. And happy World Teachers Day. Thank you very much for this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Okay.